Hi, this is Sadat, and this video is my part of assignment submission, and this is the part of assignment 9, lesson 9. So I will be answering several questions. So moving to the first question, it says, how do you write effective unit test for validation schema and business logic? Show the validation test file and explain the test structure. I'll also walk you through the specific test case and explain the assertions and show how you test edge cases and error conditions. So first of all, this is my validation test file. It checks with the user schema and task schema. I've divided this test into 3 blocks. First block checks the user schema, and the other 2 checks for tasks and the task update schema. Demonstrate testing both valid and invalid inputs. So first I will check for the invalid inputs. The first example shows that I have not provided a valid password. So my error should have a password key or have thrown an error for a password. Also, it should require an email. So I have not provided an email, and my schema should not validate this object, and the error should have an email error. Also require a valid email. So now I have provided an email, but that's not a valid email, and the error after validating the object, this should not be validated, and the error should have an email key. Also, if I don't have any invalid email, or I don't have a weak password, so everything is right, my schema should validate the object and there shouldn't be any error. So the error should be false. Also, the other edge case is with the task. If I provide enough objects, it's an edge case. If I do not provide a one key pair of the is completed true or false, the schema or the schema that I have designed, it should also default. It should provide the false value as a default value. How do you test your API? How do you test your Express API endpoints with the super test? So for super test, I need first of all, I need super test, and also I need app and server, which I have exported from the app file. And the super test gives me an agent, and to that agent I provide the app file, and that agent send request to the app or to the API endpoints. Show API test file and explain the super test setup I just showed. Demonstrate testing different HTTP methods and status codes. So like in the real controller, I can call the post or get methods on the agent, and it will send the get or post request to that URL or that API endpoint. The status code should be returned with the response, and we can check it with the response status. So for creation, we receive 200. That is the assertion. If we do not have 201, it is not created. Walk through testing the authentication and protected routes. So for authentication, we create a user, or we log on a user, and we call the post method on the agent, and gives the URL to which we send the request, and we send an object which has an email and a password. If it is valid and it is authenticated, then we should receive a 200 response status in the response. Also, we have protected routes for protected routes like log off and all task routes, we need uh, JSON Web Token, which is sent with the HTTP only. So for the log off, we need it is sent with the HTTP only, and once it is log out. So previously, when we logged in, we saved that response in a saved response, and for the log off, we need that CSRF token. Sorry, CSRF token, uh, not JSON Web Token. We need CSRF token with for the post requests. We send that to the log out. Once it is logged out, after that, the user should not be able to access their task. So it should return a 401 or unauthorized response. What testing strategies help ensure comprehensive coverage? So explain different types of tests. So this is a unit test. We check units one by one, and also we need the integration test is when we integrate a small part or a feature to the production or to the whole application. We need to test that. The API tests are like as I showed you, we call every endpoint and we check the responses with the different objects and edge case scenarios. Shows how do you organize your test file and describe the blocks. So in my file, in my application, I have a test folder in which I have different unit tests. And in every test, I have several blocks for different things, like for validation, I have first block for user validation, the second for task schema, and the third for the update task schema. Walk through the testing error scenarios and security vulnerabilities. So testing errors. When the test throws error whenever the test finds an error, and it shows you where the test was occurred. Security vulnerabilities, we check if the user should be authenticated or not. These are the scenarios we cover in the testing. Okay, so I will show my test. The testing. So the first block is for user controller test. It has three described blocks, two described blocks, one for testing logout, register and logoff, and the other for a JSON Web Token middleware. The other file I have is for task controller. It has three blocks of describe. The other one is for validation, which has the three blocks, one for user validation, the other for task, and the other for update schema validation. So hope I have covered everything I was required to do. And thank you for watching.